food plot aside, what do you think is the number one thing needed if you have a food plot?
Oh, yeah. Well, we just kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what your answer is.
Screening.
Screening.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I was out there today. I actually mowed the switch down finally. Me and you talked about
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about
I seen that when I pulled up.
Yeah, let's get the switch mowed down. For me, dude, I was thinking about this. So, been a lot of years doing this, chasing whitetails, which is what I love. On the land management side, I've been fortunate to have land,
Yeah, for sure.
And that was probably the biggest game changer for me.
Here we go.
This segment's brought to you by Woodsman Custom Calls.
Man, I've known Sean a long time. Great dude. He makes a great call. I haven't helped him design the camo cutter, which we saw what that thing did in Missouri this year.
Man, yeah, we had a heck of a trip up in Missouri. Ended up taking 3 birds on that trip.
Yes, sir. That's one of the 11 calls he makes out of his Outlaw series, mouth calls. But he also makes slate calls and glass calls if you need those.
We've had Sean in here on the podcast. Really good guy.
Great call. Designed by killers for killers.
What is up, everybody?
Welcome back to the Hunt Experience, episode 43.
You got it.
Didn't have to ask a question.
You're on top of it.
Bam.
Got it. Got it whipped.
43. It's summertime today.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, bud.
Sheesh. It's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Too early to be 80s, man. What the heck?
I know. Let's see. It's been kind of up and down.
Yep.
Did that pre-tree project, and one day it was 75, and I got sunburn, and the next morning it was 38 when I went out there. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I've been on the tractor today.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to pay.
Boat.
I think I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, crazy weather for this time of year. I
Yeah.
don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I already got weeds growing. My Bermuda burn project, I don't have any Bermuda popping yet, but I got the front lawn where the weeds are. It's already kind of greening up. So
that's later, isn't it? That's probably isn't that like May or something?
It should be.
Typically on
Bermuda. I kind of wondered how I'll do a soil temperature, and with that yard being black, I'm thinking that it'll probably pop sooner because the soil temperature is going to come up very quickly. But
that makes sense.
I don't know. First time me burning. So.
I seen some of that footage.
Yeah.
You put that
Sketchy.
I was like, dang.
Yeah, I know. You would think grass would do that.
Full blown fire right there.
Got to pull. Like, I don't know what I paid for that pool cover, but if it gets ashes on it, it's melting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One of those trampoline pool cover deals, but it's rubber or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, if that thing ashes over into that, I'm screwed. But no, it actually worked pretty good. I did notice like a lot of leaves blowed up against I guess it's aluminum fence I put up out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the heat from it, I walked over to it. I was like, oh no, it had these bows coming inside the yard. It was bowed out. Didn't burn it, just the heat bowed it out.
Mm-hmm.
I went back like an hour later and it all went back into place.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, now I know.
It's all good.
Now I know it's no problem. Well, when I first did it, I was like,
I didn't think about that.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
So the birds are chirping and it's blue skies today, and golly, man, it's like, what is going on here?
I kissed a wasp yesterday.
Oh,
Wasp already out.
So
Lily landed right on my lips. I walked around out of my garage in the corner and oh my gosh.
Dude, I've got, for some reason in my shop out there, in the restaurant equipment side, they're getting in somehow.
Really?
And I think they're in the wall in between my old building and the new building.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a massive nest in there somewhere, and it's yellow jackets. And they're getting inside my building.
Huh.
And dude, I bet there's hundreds that I've killed. Yeah, the floor is just lined with them. So I've got
good. Yeah,
I got to figure that out. Yeah, because I'm allergic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in red wasp, but I'm highly allergic. It's like I'll break out knives and can't hardly breathe.
Yeah, you don't want to go through that.
No. So
I had that 20 by 20 building I tore down at my place, and it's been quite a few years ago, but I didn't have a tractor then or nothing. I tore it all down by hand. And when I ripped the outside siding off of it, between the siding and the insulation, I bet that thing was probably 4 feet tall. Yellow jacket nest.
Really? See, that's what I think's going on with me, because big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, big numbers of them. And I was like, how are they getting in here? Because, when I built on the inside, I took, the wood all the way to the ceiling and I trimmed it and then I caulked it. And I'm like, how are they getting in here? Well, I get that tub surround that I wash all the equipment in the corner, and it just goes up and stops. And I think they're getting into the wall,
Sure.
coming over and coming up over. So I've got to.
Well, so that nest has probably been there for a while too, though. You know,
Yeah.
like it was probably already in there, and now that's warming up. They're like, hey, we're gonna.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, they're all dormant in the winter, you know. But
yeah.
So
I hate them suckers. The stings don't bother me too much anymore because I've been stung so many times. But I tore down that. I took on that job over in Huntington and tore down those 2 sheds of my tractor, and I just opened up the doors with my grapple and then got in the corner and just shoved them in the ground. I mean, thousands, and these buildings have been there since the probably 1900s. I mean, I had 2 cans of spray because I knew it was like this is going to be bad, and I went through those 2 cans of spray that fast, and I was killing with my hand. I would drive up there and grab a little piece and back up right fast, and never got stung. But yeah, they can make some massive nests.
Oh, for sure. So I don't know, and that's to me is one of the downsides of warm weather.
Yeah,
when it comes,
my daughter's scared to death of them.
Dude, when I was a kid, got stung all the time.
Me too.
It was just part of being outside. I mean, every summer I'd get lit up on a regular. And then one time, dude, it was like, I was probably in my late 20s, and I got stung in the face.
Yeah.
I was up on an eave, and I was like hammering in, and you know how the garter is on the red wash. You got this one that he's like the assassin.
Yeah.
He come out and just like dive bombed me right under my eye. And then he flew back up. I was on a ladder.
Yeah.
And I took my hat off and like hit him down. He went all the way to the ground, and I climbed down the ladder, and he flew up again and stung me on the opposite.
Gotcha.
Same one.
Double tapped you.
Yeah. And then it was so funny, dude. I'll have to find it one of these days. So Steve made a video. He was all about videography back there. It's where I got most of my videography from, by the way.
Yeah.
And he played, He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Yeah.
And he had a red wasp in a ring case.
Oh, yeah.
And he's laying there, and he had it spinning. He stopped loving her. Anyway, it was hilarious when he made a parody of it. But, dude, it swelled my eyes shut, swelled my face up. Dude, looks like somebody hit me with a baseball bat. And then, I was like, dang, what the heck? I've never swelled like that. And then I remember another time I got stung. I broke out in hives all over. Swelled me up big, and then broke out in hives. And then the last time I got stung, I did all of those things, and then it was like tightness in my chest.
Yeah.
It was hard to breathe. So I was like, okay, I'm almost, what is it, EpiPen or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, you probably better go ahead and get your hands on one because you don't know what the next one will be like.
Jeez. So
I've never heard any adverse reactions to them. I did have one sting me in the ear one time that literally got, normally a wasp sting kind of gets hot and red and then mine just go away. Well, this one was in my ear cartilage, and it actually like kind of, I don't know what happened, but there was like a little hole that went all the way through my whole ear after that thing stung me.
Really? Yeah. Kind of rotted it out.
Huh? Oh, that's interesting.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, the waspers, man, I don't know. So don't hold this against me, anybody, but I was born in California, and we moved out here when I was 8. We didn't have wasps. We had honeybees.
Yeah.
And you got to pull the stinger out with the honeybee. They sting you one time. Well,
right.
I'm a wasp magnet because, I wasn't here for 2 days probably in Arkansas. We had a
welcome
house over there on Browntown. I had these little wooden shutters, and I took a tennis ball with my baseball glove, and I bounced it off the house. Bam, hit that thing. And I probably got stung 15 times second day here. Like,
jeez.
What are these things? They just keep stinging you, and it hurts
horrible.
Way worse than a honeybee was. That and horseflies. Like, what kind of fly is this? We didn't have horseflies. And,
yes.
Like, not in my area anyway. Not saying they don't
would
live
eat you.
Yeah. Like, what in the world? This is like 10 times the size of a fly that I've ever seen.
Christy tells the story. So Christy was from Rockford, Illinois.
Okay.
And she lived up there her whole childhood.
Yeah.
And she came down here, and she's like, 2 things.
Yeah.
She said, ticks.
Yeah.
We did not have ticks.
Yeah.
And she said, one of us got a tick. There was like 5 girls living together. Yeah. One of us got a tick, and they like lit the match, stuck it to its butt, was afraid to pull it out, and all that. And she said, we just were freaked out because this thing embedded in my skin.
Yeah.
And then chiggers. She said,
chiggers was a surprise.
We did not know anything about chiggers. Yeah. And so I was like, welcome to the South.
I was out here on vacation when I was like probably 7, and we were up on Podo with my dad's side of the family hunting for muscadines. Everybody made muscadine jelly and all that stuff. I'm like, heck yeah, man, I love it in the woods. I'm going to go find all these muscadines. And I was running through there, and like the next day I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. This is
You
the
gotta
worst
get
thing.
in a bleach bath and
Yeah.
you gotta
Mhm.
like no relief.
No,
By the time
nothing.
we went back to California, I was just scabs from just scratching everywhere. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're horrible, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm even scared of them today because
Me too. They're so
I
evil.
told you, I know I've told the story, but it's like me and Christy went fishing when we were just married,
Yeah.
and I was in flip flops, and we went into high grass, and we're just fishing away,
Mhm.
and it was like, man, something's
Yeah.
itching on top of my feet. I
Yeah.
don't think much about it. I'm a country boy. I'm raised
Yeah.
in the woods, and we made it back to the house, and I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something is wrong, and that's what I kept telling her. And I had over 100
Yeah.
in my underwear line.
Oh yeah.
Just right here, dude. And
It happened to me last year. I forgot what I was.
Misery. I mean, I and I got seed ticks once too. And seed ticks, I say once, several times, but really bad once.
Yeah.
But you can just kind of, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Them chiggers, dude, they're there to stay.
Yeah, they don't go away. I don't care what you, the bleach bath didn't do jack squat.
It's a weak
I did.
sore,
Matter
for
of fact,
sure.
I bought, I remember talking about it on this podcast. I can't remember what I
Yeah,
did.
you got blowed up.
And I
I
was
do
like,
remember.
oh my gosh, dude. Like I was dying. And I got some kind of spray and some kind of chigger rid paste. And like I bought like 4 tubs of it. And like I'm just bathing down. It's like I cannot stand
Yeah.
to itch like that. It's like madness for me. Like,
Yes.
oof.
So I carry a can of off with me now. I put it in my rig. So I've got it at every.
I always had one on my side by side, but now I have the golf cart. I got to go ahead and just
Stick one in
I
there.
think that was the story. I actually asked my wife, hey, we got any off like with DEET in? Yeah, we got some. I got for Lydia for church camp. It was like this little pump up bottle thing, like splash it on me, and I just got tore up because there was like 1 ounce in there. Like,
It's like aftershave.
what a joke. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with this? Like drink it and maybe I sweat it out?
Yeah, you get that stuff, dude, that says like 40% DEET on the can. Ain't nothing getting on
Now,
you.
you ever notice when you spray that on? Because I do it like when I go scouting and stuff. You spray that on and your skin starts feeling hot.
Oh, yes.
What is that?
It's not good.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. I was like,
I know
man,
exactly.
I know it's like 80 degrees out here. My skin's like hot. Like
Yeah.
I just rub myself down with Bengay or something.
So we get here probably in the next week or so, boy, especially with these temperatures, we'll get real big into fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the bass
Oh,
will
it's
really
time,
get
for sure.
really get active,
Yeah,
know. And I love fishing bass.
Yeah.
Clint's got ponds, and then we got ponds all around. All I've ever done is fish ponds.
Yeah.
Few lakes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Dude, I hose down like no other.
Mm.
As soon as you start seeing green shoots of grass,
Yeah.
you better get ready.
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Because, once you get out of the 30s at night, well, I'd say probably the 40s. So you get your lows are in the 50s.
We're there. 48, something like that.
They're-
Running. Yeah.
They're coming for you.
Yeah. Talking about those seed ticks. When I moved to Arkansas, I took to it immediately, and I had a bicycle and a little bitty like 3-foot fishing pole and a small little tackle box and what's the cutoff down there by Holt's place, that creek, James Fort Creek.
Yeah.
I would hop on my bike and I would go to the strip pits, hop in people's ponds and fish that creek, and like that's what I did in the summertime before I started hauling hay and everything. But
Heck yeah.
run limb lines. But I mean, I came back one time with some, back in the day, you had like some blue shorts with the red trim on them and like a tank top. And then it was like, that's kind of the style, and tube socks with color on them.
Mhm, right.
Took off my tube socks and it was just
Solid.
solid seed ticks. I'm like, Mom,
This is not good.
what is this? What happened?
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're covered up in seed ticks. But yeah, it was,
So you made me remember by telling that story. So where we lived at Dad's, our driveway coming up had a big pond, and we were the land watchers or whatever. We didn't own the land, but we maintained the land for the
gotcha.
person. And anyway, we called it Fox's Pond. And dude, he stocked it with catfish.
Yeah.
And then he would feed them regularly.
Yeah.
And so, dude, you could go down there and catch catfish and I had a cane pole that was literally like 4 feet long.
Yeah.
The whole pole.
Yeah. That's about what mine
And I had like this mega test line on it and a grapple hook.
Yeah.
That's what I call, the ones with 3 prongs turning up. I guess that's a grapple hook.
Treble.
Treble hook. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
there you go.
treble hook. Yeah. And it didn't matter, dude. But if you could catch a grasshopper,
Oh, yeah.
it was automatic.
Mm.
And I would literally, dude, no doubt, I'd put a grasshopper on there, stand at the bank, and that line was probably 4 feet, 5 feet.
Yeah.
I would just hold it over
Just
like
hold it
this,
over. Yeah.
and it would, and you'd catch one of them things and almost pull your arm down.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
And then you bring him out, dude, and it was so fun. And I did that growing up. And so it spoiled me to catching fish.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you just went and caught fish. Wasn't nothing to it
Yeah.
until you get into, regular pond.
If you go to the places where nobody else goes, I mean,
It's
I
pretty awesome.
slaughtered them when I was a kid too with no equipment. And,
Yeah.
we do that with one pump on your BB gun and pop the grasshoppers and then throw them in a jar, and you go
Yep.
and that. And up on top of the hill, got old man named Johnny Purpich had a catappa tree. You can climb that tree and get all the catappa worms out of it. You could even freeze those things, but I'd knock on his door, back then. Hey, can I climb your tree? Yeah, son, I don't care.
Get up there and
get some
it.
worms and then take off on my bike. And there's a strip pit right around the corner there by Strunk's old place. And
Yep.
dip off on that strip pit. And they caught an albino catfish out of there one day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, I remember I used to take that cane pole and just throw it in the water.
Yeah.
And then, dude, you'd come down there and that thing would be bobbing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you ease your way out there and grab that thing and
Yeah.
it'd have a big old catfish
Yeah.
on it. We did that a bunch. And then we'd take our Zebco 202s
Yeah.
and we'd get big rocks and we'd cast and then just lay a big rock over it and then come back and, you'd have a fish.
Yeah.
Just about every time. So, yeah, that was, that's how I grew up fishing. And then, got into bass fishing a little later, but
Yeah.
that was a blast.
Yeah. You got access to many ponds as you do. You got to,
Yeah.
I remember doing work on a guy's car one time, and he had a big horseshoe pond back there, and me and Joe had fished a tournament that morning. It's like I went to finish up some hand striping on this guy's car over in Barring, and my rods and stuff in the back. Like, man, the pond's all growed up. So, you got any fish in that pond? No, ain't no fish in that pond. Care if I try? No, it's fine. Like the first 4 casts.
Megas.
Caught, they weren't huge, but they're 2.5, 3 pounders. Like, bam, bam,
Yeah,
bam.
so
like,
fun.
hey. And he was way up the shop. Like, here's another one. Here's another one. Like,
So fun.
yeah, it's a blast. A lot better than, a lot better than not catching. You get a little pond like that and you can kind of stay away from where you're not casting your shadow on it or get in a strategic position. You can wear them out.
For sure. Clint's got a little 3-pond circuit that we hit.
Yeah.
Dude, it's good fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, he's so close to James Fork.
Oh, yeah.
The flood back at James Fork, there's no telling what's in there, dude.
Yeah.
There is those
Flood back that far?
Yes.
Really?
There's gar in it. There is
wow. That's
big,
fun. That's fun too. I've done that before.
Big crappie.
Yeah.
And I can't catch a gar.
Really?
They'll hit it, but I've never caught
So
one.
that's, what did we do? Gosh, we use like a treble hook and like some, you take like some rope and like fray it all out and just kind of reel it in like a lure and they'll bite that and get all tangled up in it and you can hook them.
Really?
Or that, or of course you don't want to snag out of a pond like that. But when I used to be over at Blue Mountain, I'd see a bunch of them out there and take a pretty good sized treble hook and just start snagging.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
out there, you wouldn't want to rip a bunch of bass and stuff out of there.
Well, the lowest pond next to the creek.
Oh, the one on the right hand side?
Yeah. It floods.
Oh,
It
I can see that.
floods up into the second pond,
Yeah.
all the way up to the third pond. If it's a mega flood.
Yeah.
And that's done that like, I don't know how many times, 2 or 3 times that I know of. And dude, there's all kinds of crazy fish in them,
Yeah.
in them ponds. And, they don't get fished. I mean, for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's fun. And,
Yeah.
Christy's sister is like a diehard fisherman. She's like, are we, it's time to go fishing. The weather, it says,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
So that's something we look forward to every year.
Yeah, it's about that time. I got the boat serviced 2 weeks ago. Joe took it and had it all done. He actually did it. We had to have a little bit of work done on it. So I usually like to go out and try to catch a summer supply of crappie, and then I'll switch over to bass and start bass fishing and having fun.
Yeah, I got into it pretty big. I mean, I finally spent money and got a good rod and reel and, tons of tackle, just anything I think I might need.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm a big plastic worm fisherman. So
I got a variety.
back in the day, I bought plastic worms. I mean, I probably got, no joke, probably 200 bags of plastic worms. And they've just lasted me this whole time. Because now, I was spending $1.89 a bag for them. Now they're like $6 a bag or whatever. So I'm like, I really don't cost me anything to go. And then looking at, we go down to, let's see, where's that place at? Natural Dam. We'll get off of them creeks in the hot summertime, like June, July, and you wade up to your chest, and take your little ultralights and got a whole bunch of those little bitty spinners, and you catch them smallmouth out of there.
Oh,
it's a
cool.
blast. I think the last time we went before he left, our count was like in the 70s, got like 70 fish.
Wow, that's awesome.
Like a mile up and a mile back, or a mile and a half up, mile. That's a lot of fun. And the
Yeah,
water's cool.
can imagine.
The water's running. You can see. And
We did that in Colorado, dude. We went up there. We hiked up poles with us, and it's just little brookies, but it's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
But as you was talking about it, dude, once they figure you out, like you catch one or two, the whole group won't come over.
Yeah, just shuts them down.
It's like, yep, they know something's not right.
Kind of got to keep your shadow off there and then throw into the shadows type deal. Or when the fresh water's when it first breaks in the shallows, that's with smallmouth anyway.
Yeah.
I figured them out. Like I know that's why we usually fish with the water running away from us, because a lot of times they'll be facing you and you can throw past them.
Gotcha.
Just kind of bring it back up, and then
get them to hit it.
They're fighting. You get a pound and a half, 2 pound smallmouth on ultralight.
I've never caught a smallmouth.
No, they're fun.
Yeah, I bet they would be.
They feel like a 4 pound bass.
Really? Big fight, huh?
Yeah, they got some power behind them.
Ding, 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 ding. And you hear that sound?
Though we've also been in some of those holes, and we've had some, like you said, those 3.5, 4 foot gar kind of run across your leg. You look down, oh wow, look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did these bite?
Yeah.
Because it looks like they could.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They go. Yeah, there's some big ones in those ponds, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, they'll hit my lure, whatever we have we fish flukes a lot, the little swim baits.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Throw a crankbait out there. You can catch them on those.
Can you? Okay.
Like a little rattle trap or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've got a bunch of them. I used to fish the Arkansas River all the time. And as soon as you put in, it'd be like some deep banks over there where our tournament started. And I would throw a crankbait or something down in deep banks. And like those things that hit, like, just won the tournament, boys. And whoa, what? Oh, man.
Yeah.
If they won't come up, say like, all right, this is probably going to be a gar, and you just got to beat the crap out of it to get your lure out without dying.
Yeah. Let it ripping your hand off.
Yeah. You get something with a crankbait or like a rattle trap or something, they'll hit it, and you can snag them with that.
The one thing that my wife doesn't like, and her sister's not too worried about them, but there's always snakes. Always snakes.
Yeah.
At these ponds, because it's grown up all around them.
Sure. Yeah.
So they don't bother me so much, but.
Yeah. Looking at, we went down to that one right there by the house one year, and it was that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, man, we're catching these, little pound and a half bass is whatever can live, because the water gets low in the summertime. We'd fish those pockets, just catching the crap out of them. And the sun was setting, and it was glaring on the water. I was like, that's going to be a good little hole. And I flipped into it, and I just couldn't see the hole. I was like, man, there wasn't no fish in there. And then I walked around the side of it, and there was like 4 water moccasins in this hole. They ate all the fish out of it.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Okay, I think I'm ready to go.
Tapping out.
And I had the 45 with me, no snake shot, but I just like, pow, 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 started shooting them inside that hole, and like, pretty much got rid of most of them, but they're going to kill somebody. It ain't going to be me.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
But my dad back in the day, he had a 44 Magnum revolver in California, like real bad. We killed 2 or 3 rattlesnakes every time we went up to the mountains up there.
Oh, I bet.
And he had some kind of snake shot that went into his pistol, and it was pretty lethal.
Did it spread out, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like a little shotgun round. You'd get pretty close to them, but
take them out. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of snakes, we didn't know when we were kids. You're supposed to kill snakes or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't pay, but that's all we did growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were everywhere, especially that strip pit where we lived.
Yeah.
Dude, I became an assassin with the rock. I mean, I don't know how many snakes I killed with a rock.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I would pick a rock up and get it like the right weight, and he could be way out there, and I could smoke his head. And I got to where I could like wham.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was actually baseball. I think it was killing snakes.
Yeah.
I got accurate.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it.
Yeah, we did. We killed a bunch like that, dude. That was just.
I killed a bird with a rock one time. I was at my cousin's house.
I did too.
I was like, I'm gonna kill that blue jay with this rock. And no, you ain't. Picked up his driveway. First throw, bam, killed that bird. Like, oh my gosh!
Somebody was with me.
Totally luck.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So I had this I think it was a blue jay.
Yeah, that's what this one was.
Yeah, he flew down on top of the fence, and I was like, "Watch this!" and just nailed him.
Yeah, I was probably like 9 years old. I freaking threw a freaking fast 2-seamer at that bird, just like nailed him.
Took him out.
And then I was surprised, but I tried not to act surprised.
Turn around, walked away.
So I told him I was going to do it.
Called my shot.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, kids, don't throw rocks at me.
Yeah, no, and that's
don't do that.
Well, that's kind of like whenever the COVIDs hit, and Luke was home. They were out of school for however long. And he was sending me pictures every day of like 14 birds, 12 squirrels. I'm like, dude, you can't do this every day, or we just won't have. There'll be nothing left.
Yeah,
he was just so bored. He was going around like
sniping
everything with that gammo out there. I'm like, dude, we just can't keep it up.
Yeah.
Go find something.
Did you? Speaking of kind of fishing thing, did y'all eat fish?
Oh yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So I got a little story for that because we never did. I caught fish and I would,
We ate catfish.
and yeah, we did too. Of course, we did. Anytime I would eat catfish, we would go somewhere and eat it. We never cooked our own.
No, really. Yeah.
And, we had bass, catfish, and then tons of sun perch and brim and bluegill and all of that. Well, we hated catching a perch, bluegill, sunfish, whatever.
Yeah.
Hated it. That was like, you failed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't try to catch those, Well, I met Christy and her family. And they're like, we're going fishing. I was like, oh, yeah, I love to fish.
Yeah.
Dude, they spent the entire day
Yeah.
fishing for panfish.
Man, we've ate those before too. You
I was
get
just
a 5-gallon bucket full of them in 2 hours.
Dude, I was making fun of them. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, that's a trash fish. You don't catch. Oh, have you ever ate these? I was like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, we went to home and they had a fish fry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where have I been?
And they're easy too. You just scale them and then fillet them, flip them over, and thumb. Yeah,
yeah. So I was like, okay.
I've even done that when I had the rental house over there. Like, get into a big mess of perch, and I had that little scamp. I'm gonna keep this one. And I'm okay. Start getting into some pretty big ones. Like, so now put a little beetle spin on. Now I'm perch fishing. And I get 25 of them. Like, I'm frying these dudes up tonight. But no, we were catfishing. My dad was like big into catfish, so we would travel. If we took a family vacation, we were catfishing, and you had to get up early. It was a job. I mean, we're hunting for food here. There was no, you take a break at noon, maybe get to swim a little bit. You fished in the morning, fished in the evening, clean catfish.
It was the real deal.
And that's what we did. And we do that quite a few weekends when we weren't cutting wood. And then we took a vacation. We'd spend a week somewhere at a lake in a tent and catch catfish.
Yeah.
Which at the time, it was pretty fun. My mom was always on bass fishing because I was always watching the BASS tournaments and stuff. So
sport fishing.
I'd have my allotted amount of rods that you're allowed to have out, and then I'd be down there plugging away with whatever I had, like some kind of lure I'd found on the bank or whatever. Like, get over here and catfish these poles. He was not for the bass fishing. But yeah, we ate a ton of catfish.
Okay, well, good. Mom never cooked them.
Yeah,
we never cleaned them.
Yeah.
It's just something we never did.
Yeah.
Now my dad's family and all them, everybody ate fish, but it was like, we just never did it. And then, Christy's family, and that just kind of took me by surprise. It's like, you're eating the perch? What are you doing?
It's kind of like,
it was really good.
It was an opportunistic fist. If you started getting into a bunch of them, Dad would be like, let's start keeping them.
Yeah.
Now we're perch fishing because you're going to have a lot of fish.
Pile of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, I say that, I don't really remember. I hadn't eaten them in years, but.
No, they weren't bad. I mean,
the only thing I eat now is crappie. We'll go usually on Oklahoma Lakes or Blue Mountain.
Catch some crappie.
We got that whole, it's either really, really good or really, really bad, but we have that, what do you call it? Can't think what you even call it now. Anyway, there's like 8 rods in the front of your boat.
Mm-hmm.
Lost the name of it. I told you that's what happens to me. I think
when you get old.
Yeah. Anyway, we do that, and you just
where you can see
No, we don't have the live scope out. We don't have the live scope. We have some pretty nice fish finders on there and stuff. You can definitely tell when you get into a school of them, you'll go over the top of them and then turn around and slow down or speed up, and then bam, bam, bam. All of a sudden, 4 rods go off and just hand them back to the guy.
I heard that's really taking a hit because of all the live scopes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got live scopes now.
Yeah.
And they've pretty much
just watch your lure.
Wiped out a ton of them.
Get eaten, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's because it's kind of easy. It's like a video game almost.
Yeah. Oh, definitely it is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't have one of those. I like to keep it I say that, like, kind of want to keep it a little bit sporting, but
yeah.
I don't know. That'd probably be fun, but the ones we have, it's all the 3D stuff. I mean, you can definitely see there's fish and what they are down there, and you could watch your lure hit it, but it's not like the live scope. You got side scan and all that stuff on it.
Well, we did a video, dude. I don't know how many years ago.
I remember that.
When the first live scopes come out.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is going on? And he would just like, oh, there's one, and there's just bring that bait. And the fish may not even move.
Yeah.
And then he would reel it up, bring it back down again, and probably second or third time he'd eat it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you would never know that.
Yeah.
If you couldn't see them.
Those guys on the lake kind of get in the way when you're doing what we're doing too, because they won't move off that spot. And like, man, I really want to go right through there. And it's like, that dude is not moving.
Yeah.
Like,
he's on a nest or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a question for you, kind of to start our
have an
topic today. And we have talked about this before, but when it comes to land management, food plotting like we do, food plot aside, what do you think is the number one thing needed if you have a food plot?
Oh, yeah. Well, we just kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what your answer is.
Screening.
Screening.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I was out there today. I actually mowed the switch down finally. Me and you talked about
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about
I
it.
seen that when I pulled up.
Yeah, let's get the switch mowed down. For me, dude, I was thinking about this. So, been a lot of years doing this, chasing whitetails, which is what I love. On the land management side, I've been fortunate to have land,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And that was probably the biggest game changer for me. Food plot aside, what do you think is the number one thing needed if you have a food plot?
Oh, yeah. Well, we just kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what your answer is.
Screening.
Screening.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I was out there today. I actually mowed the switch down finally. Me and you talked about
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about
I
it.
seen that when I pulled up.
Yeah, let's get the switch mowed down. For me, dude, I was thinking about this. So, been a lot of years doing this, chasing whitetails, which is what I love. On the land management side, I've been fortunate to have land,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And that was probably the biggest game changer for me.
Mhm.
Because I planted my first food plot in 2000. We told the story. And I rocked on there for 8 or 9 years just with food plot.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I'd always brush hog around it, keep it all cleaned up. And it's on a big field. My setup is here's a
Yeah.
big old field. And I'll never forget, dude, when I finally planted my first plot screen.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this many bucks in the daylight on
Yeah.
their feet. The food plot didn't change.
Yeah.
I just added cover around the food plot. And then I progressed into switchgrass.
Right.
And that's where we are now.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about it many times. Switchgrass is that's a patient man's
Yeah. For sure.
screening.
Yeah.
You got to be patient because it takes, especially, I think it's probably, up north where the dirt's really, really good. I think it would probably go faster. But,
Yeah.
I'm on year 5, 6 on some stuff out there.
Yeah.
And it is my height.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, and dude, it's awesome. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that right out the box.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
me and you've both experienced it. It's hard to establish.
Yeah.
Once you get it established,
Yeah.
you're golden. You just got to wait it out. But, what are you? You're 3-4, right? Coming up.
Yeah.
And so you're just getting that. You had some 3-4 foot stuff, didn't you?
Back there on that northern side, I bet it was closer to 5.
Did you? So you had some,
But
deep
it was a
stuff.
different seed
Yeah.
than my original stuff. So I think,
Yeah.
if I do it again, that's what I'm going to be using because it was a big difference.
And so
When do you think you planted you said, how many years were you food plotting before you actually discovered the plot screen secret?
okay, I think the plot screen was in 2008 or 9.
Okay.
So
I remember having this conversation with you, like,
Mhm.
dude, I put this plot screen out on my food plot, and
oh my gosh.
I think I did have a food plot, but it was a little one.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I really can't use it where I'm at. My food plot will be dime size of what I'm
right.
screening it.
Yeah. You'd be one little strip.
But I never really delve into that side of it and
Mhm.
until I heard you talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, dude. Cause it was like, I had seen something. I don't remember what I'd seen. Maybe it was an infomercial or something back then. It wouldn't have been
yeah.
social, I don't think. But anyway, I'd seen something. I thought, you know what? I'm going to try that. And then I was like, okay, plant it in May.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you would plant corn or
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
And so I went in there and from the top of the property all the way down to the bottom, I cut a strip, killed it. I did everything they said to do.
Yeah.
And then I seeded it. And dude, the first year it was straight up 10 foot
Yeah.
tall and impenetrable.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a wall. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And then we had a bachelor group here of about 7 bucks and they all were daylighting in early season.
Yeah.
And that's the year Christy shot buck we call Stickers and he got away and
Yeah.
ended up dying later. We found his,
Yeah.
anyway.
Remember the dog or something brought it up?
Yeah. Neighbor's dog. But I just remember, was that a fluke? You know,
Yeah.
did all these deer show? I mean, I've never had this kind of daylight
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say no.
Well, no. After that, so
Yeah.
dude, we kind of talked about this. I plot screened just year after year in the same place, and what it did is it took my 12 acres here, whatever it is, it's cleared,
Yeah.
and I went to the very edge with that plot screen all the way across the opening, and it made it a 2-acre piece.
Yeah.
The whole thing,
Yeah.
3 maybe at the most, and it was like,
Well, you get edge out of it, you get cover out of it,
Yep.
security out of it.
yep, there's no food in it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that is cool. So now here's what I want to do. I want to take it further because that's what we do. Trying to push trying to learn more. As I went along with the plot screen, year after year, my plot screen got shorter and shorter and shorter, and sparse.
Taking all the nutrients out of the ground.
That's what I finally figured out.
Yeah.
It was after 6 years.
Hmm.
My last time I
That's not
planted
bad.
it. Last time I planted it was probably 6-7 feet tall and just not as thick.
Do you do a blend?
Yeah, I was doing that. What was the name of that company? Frigid Forage.
Okay.
And they were a northern company, and it's the only place I'd found it way back there.
Yeah.
Now everybody's got it,
See, mine was a blend too.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
why I asked is like I wonder.
It's sorghum and Egyptian wheat
Yeah.
mixed.
So you guess now you just got to figure out what it takes to grow that because that's what it's taken out of the ground, right?
Yeah. And so I did a little research on that.
Yeah.
And I had found a guy that had now he was up north, but he had 12 foot just
Yeah.
wall.
I've seen some pictures like
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
And he said that you had to put micronutrients back in
Mm.
to feed these.
Yeah.
And so that's as far as I took it. I've never actually dove in and see, okay, here's what I need to put down.
Yeah. You almost need like a soil test for that since you're doing it in the same spot year after year after year.
Yes.
Like, okay,
yeah.
what
Because
is
it
this?
does take whatever nutrients in the ground. And I thought, well, it's my ground's not fertile. No, that wasn't it, because I could go in there and get a soil test and the ground was pretty legit.
Hmm.
It was the micronutrient part of it. And I couldn't figure out why I wasn't doing good, And
What is the micronutrient side? Like worm castings or something? Or
yeah, it's something to do, and I don't know what the micronutrients are. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the guy I seen, I forget, he had bought some kind of something to put on it. It's not like fertilizer.
Yeah.
It's something different.
Okay.
I don't know if it's I don't know if you could do chicken litter or,
That's going to be like urea or something.
Yeah,
That's just straight nitrogen.
but there's a bunch of other stuff in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's there's other bacteria and stuff
I
in
know
there.
that works good for corn. When I had chickens,
Yeah.
I'd always throw that and till it into my corn. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Grow by the feet.
Yeah.
And so right in there, when I started struggling with the plot screen, I was like, you know what? I'm doing switchgrass. I really want to try switchgrass. So I did that strip here in the back. That's the original strip. And then the strip over there,
Yeah.
that's the original. And then the lower end, that's all and I frost seeded.
Yeah.
And I had never done that. And, it's like year one, I was like, didn't work.
Yeah.
That was a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I remember I went back in there and I brush hogged, because I always kept everything brush hogged all nice and neat.
Yeah.
And which, I didn't think about it being a detriment to my deer coming to my place. I mean, it didn't work. Didn't think about it back then. And I remember it was year 2, I was like, what is this stuff? And then year 3, I was like, dude, this is 5 feet deep. What is this stuff? And I was like, oh, that's that switchgrass that I planted in. And I planted Cave and Rock. We'd talk about that.
Yeah.
That was what was popular.
Yeah. I think it's still the way to go.
It is.
They just have different blend. That
Sure.
one I had was like a southern blend.
That
I don't
southern
know
blend,
what's in it.
yeah.
A lot of it's already stratified. So
Well, see, I did some of that southern blend on this last little anchor that I did out here.
did you?
Yes. And I got it from you
Okay.
because you had some of it left
Yeah.
over. And dude, it is gobby thick.
Mhm.
I mean, they're
It's-
just
it's
on top.
something. There's something to it. I don't know
see,
what it is.
There's
but-
something different about
Yeah.
that seed because it really takes.
Yeah.
Now I'm year 2.
Yeah.
And it's only, I don't know, 2 feet deep probably.
Yeah. So mine was mine was only here too. Because the first year we did plot screen on that northern side.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a frost seed after the first year. So that would only been 2 years in, but it's shoulder high on me now.
Well,
Or it was till I brush hogged it all down.
So I brush hog today, and I don't know how much it is. It's probably, dude, it's probably an acre and a half, maybe of switch, probably something like that.
Yeah.
I would assume because the plot's an acre, a little over, Yeah, I bet it is, dude. And so I mowed down 5 year and 6 year stuff today.
You
And
mowed last year too, though, didn't you?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my first year of mowing.
Yeah. And so I was worried because last year I mowed it for the first time and I was like, last year, the year before, I can't remember. And I was like, man, I hope I don't mess it up by mowing it.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we get to that temperature where that soil temperature gets up, dude, it's like you go out there and it's like one day it's like 3 inches.
Yeah, it's
Go back in a week and it's like 8 inches.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes crazy.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's a quick mover for sure.
yes, and the cool thing about the switch is anybody's ever planted it will know. You start with a little tiny few stalks shooting up there, and then the next year it's a little bigger, and then it's like doubled, and then it's like tripled, and then it's like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, some of mine are probably 12 or 15 inches around, even that original stuff.
So for me, in my personal experience on my own place, that was probably one of the biggest daylight movers for whitetails for me. And all that, dude, I've planted everything, which seed is best, what time of year to plant in the spring, plant in the fall. I've done everything. I've tried everything because I love it. I think it's just so fun.
Oh, and me too.
And it's all about tricking that big buck to be out there when you want him to be out there. And it's like, okay, I was thinking about this. All right, what's the number one thing? if I had something, if I could tell somebody, okay, this is what changed everything for me.
Yeah, if you already have a food plot.
If you food is a no brainer. You got to have food,
but they ain't gonna come into that food before daylight if they don't feel safe.
Exactly,
and not to mention, like I said, you get the edge from it.
Yes,
and
yes,
yeah.
There's so many benefits to it, and the plot screen works great, and it's really good. But the downside is the mess and the cleanup afterwards. If you're going if you're going to do something different, kind of like what you just did.
Yeah.
I just mowed mine down to 2 strips out there of mine, and it's like debris everywhere.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's a quick grower.
It's legit.
And I really think if you're that guy out there that has struggled, like, man, I've had a plot for 3 years and I only get night pictures and, there's probably a couple things wrong, but one thing you need to try is screening it off.
I get people messaging me and like sending me aerials, and that's the first thing I say. They have a little food plot somewhere. It's like, well, you're really open on the north side, plot screen it. Go 20 foot wide.
Yeah.
Go back to the switchgrass though. One of my better bedding areas on my place is my old food plot where I did switchgrass, and I frost seeded that. I tilled it. Then I frost seeded it and forgot about it. Went back to I fertilized it pretty heavy. Like, well, put some fertilizer down, which that place had been fertilized for a lot of years. So probably unnecessary. Well, I never mowed it, never did anything with it. I mean, it was just, Johnson grass, like you can blood took over the whole thing. So, well, that was a bust. So I brush hogged it, killed it all, frost seeded it again. And next year, same thing, bunch of weeds. So I kind of gave up on it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's really worth the trouble. I don't think deer are really going to use it anyway. It's an old food plot. And I think it was the third year I went back out there, and it was just probably 95% switchgrass.
That had finally established
enough.
enough.
What the deal is with the stratification process, but I mean, I'm not talking about a little bit. I mean, it was full, and it was like at least knee high. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, this year it was shoulder high. And I mean, they bedded in that thing like madness. I mean, I found a shed in there. It was droppings, rubs all over it, a big hub scrape on the corner, all the beds just shoved down. Like it was pretty insane so it's, kind of gets you to thinking a little bit. Like I said before, that 5 I just bought over there is like, man, if I bulldoze out an area there and did another just big switchgrass field, maybe I could get some bucks to hang out there because I don't get a whole lot of traffic other than does coming from that direction. So
right.
It works. The switchgrass bed works.
Yeah. Yeah. And, they say some deer will bed in it. Some deer will bed up next to it.
Yeah. I had some of that too.
Depending on what the situation is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So switch for me has been pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the biggest problem with switch that I think most people have, and especially in the South, when you're going to have tons of weed competition, you just are.
Yeah.
And that was before we did simazine and all of that.
Yeah.
And you think it fails and it's underneath.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
in
think it
there.
has to do with that stratification process that,
Yeah,
you know, it's
it's
like, it's a
delayed.
freeze and thaw and freeze and thaw and all
Sure.
that stuff. But like, it was 2 years, and maybe there was some underneath there that was trying to pop, but the
Yeah.
weeds were killing it. But it finally outpaced the weeds.
Established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's still some little bit of weed competition there, but I sprayed it with Roundup and 2,4-D here just a couple weeks ago. So hopefully when it starts popping, it should be. I may do it one more time, but
Dude, with this temp, so that it's going to come quick.
you know, I went by the co-op today, and I was trying to buy urea, and they were out until next Thursday. But I did buy another 50 of Elbon rye to drill into my.
Oh yeah, in your spot.
I got some out there, but I think I'm gonna go and buy another bag and just drill it up and hopefully make it fairly thick, and maybe it'll somewhat catch up with what I have out there right now. But
Yeah. Well, that was what I thought about, is just, if I could say, okay, if a guy asked me, all right, man, what's your tip? I'm a food plotter and I just
Yeah.
not have any luck. I was like, dude, if it's open, even if it's in the woods,
Yeah.
if you can screen it off
Yeah.
to where those deer can't see into it and they got to come over to
Yeah.
it.
Or, if you're in a all timber situation and you're hunting something, like even if you're pouring out, like hinge cut some stuff.
Yeah.
Hickories preferably.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
That's what works here anyway.
They do well. Yeah.
Well, to go, the plot screen side of it, we both kind of did the segmentation process this year, and I did not harvest a deer, but I can tell you it worked.
Yeah.
Because I got daylight action and I cut notches in it where I wanted the deer to move. And I mean, I've got video after video of it working where they come right in front of you, 22 yards, 25 yards, over and over. And that one was, pretty good buck that I decided to pass because he was busted up, but he pops out the corridor, walks down the edge of the plot screen where I can see him and get ready, comes through the cutoff, walks right by the stand, circles around the switchgrass edge, keeping us, multiple occasions in one video shot of how screening
how it works.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you just took it to another level because you went in there and cleared those trees.
Oh yeah.
And then you took your tops and you made it impenetrable. They could only come through.
It's thick.
That's awesome, dude. Because I'd seen the video. You put it up.
I was literally hooking up the grapple when you texted me that. I was like, you need to take those tops. Like, I'm already on it.
Yeah, I got it, man. We're thinking the same thing.
I'm already on it. Yeah. So then I left, I told you off air that I left a little opening. I'm thinking about connecting
the hotspot,
2 corridors, one of my original corridors to another corridor that's going to be a chip shot too, just to have them access. Cause honestly, at this point, if I ever get that dirt berm built right there on the south side where the hay bales are now, it really will be impenetrable.
Yeah. Anything from the south or west.
Yeah.
Is going to be, they're going to come through 2 spots.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah. And they're coming.
Yeah.
You've proven that over the several years here.
Yeah. No question.
You know the direction.
Yeah. That's my main. I'll get some stragglers every once in a while coming.
Yeah. Of course.
But coming due north, not much from the east. Does. I'll get some does, have that water hole, and they'll come out. They'll pop at that corridor a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. They're laying close though.
Yeah.
Most likely. Yeah.
But yeah, that's, I was super impressed with the plot screen this year, just watching how it worked over and over and having even multiple doe groups in the food plot at one time.
Yes.
With no
which
pressure,
is what we wanted.
no fighting, no stress on the herd.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to watch that. So, it's definitely a valuable tool, especially when you start getting up those food plot sizes, like, 2 acres.
Yeah. Bigger ones.
Big ones like that. But even if you had a 1 acre food plot, I would still probably cut it in half.
I go back. So when I did the front plot screen the first year, seeing how successful it was, I had the back food plot, and it's where my pond's going to go now, just so you know.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't across the fence.
Yeah.
And I did an entire enclosure. Well, I say an entire, almost closed it back up around the food plot, plot screen.
Yeah.
I went around the whole perimeter of it and just left a mouth opening where the stand set pretty much. And that's where Lexi killed her first deer.
Yeah.
That was that day. And then I don't know if you've probably seen the video, but it was, we had a 15 point here, and Christy shot and missed it twice with black powder.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was the same time.
Yeah.
And dude, I was like, that's insane. But they would come in there like, I'm inside.
Yeah.
almost like
No, they do get like a safe feeling.
safety.
Yeah.
And then they would drop their heads and start eating. And,
Yeah.
and that was a clover field back then. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Which I'm bringing some of that back, hopefully. But I just remember thinking, man, that changed so much because I sat in the same stand pretty much for the most part over those years
Yeah.
and never had the buck activity that I had since I screened it off. And I just think back in my mind, and, we had some good hunts, don't get me wrong, but I mean,
Sure.
it was like a lot of rut chasing stuff,
Yeah.
or, you'd have a does come in the plot and a buck would come in and run them off. That kind of thing was normal.
Yeah.
But once we screened that thing off and made them more secure, the daylight bucks just went up astronomically.
Yeah.
And then I think we've gleaned from that, especially with Lexi's success over the years, that evening, early season, dude, it's just good.
Well, like I said, it don't matter how good the food is if they don't feel safe and they ain't coming out till the sun sets.
Exactly.
Unless there's a hot doe out there, and then you're talking about a whole different situation where nothing really matters at that point.
And that's another conversation I want to have with you eventually. We won't do it today, but just the what to plant discussion, because we've been on our trifecta now for several years.
Yeah.
And I have lower deer numbers, obviously, but dude, I've had a lot of food left the last 2 years, and this year was not a good food plot year. But I mean, the year last year,
from what I'm reading, that's kind of what you want.
Yeah,
I do not. I do not. Even my kill plots are mowed down.
Yeah, yeah.
I still got cameras running. It's like they're just out there.
You got too big of a vast area that you're pulling from, I think.
Yeah.
You know what my situation
Especially when
is.
you're still having green on the ground when nobody else does.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. So we'll have that discussion one day too. I'm trying to, I'm bringing in the past stuff that I had success with because I was.
No, that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I was strictly a clover guy for years because I had watched one of them Whitetail Imperial videos.
Yeah.
Way back there when we had hunting channels and they would advertise.
Was it Hastings at Alabama?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Whitetail buck deer munching on clover.
Yeah. Red tail hawk. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, I'm going to, and this is year 2000. I got to try that. Oh, if I could pull deer, that would be great, And I remember planting my first clover food plot, and it was like a quarter acre.
Yeah.
And it used to have out here, a horseshoe pile when they originally cleared the land.
Okay.
They made this big
push up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a big horseshoe pile, and it had a bunch of saplings and stuff growing up in it. And inside that horseshoe is where I would plant.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, that feeling of just like manipulating an animal to come to your property.
Yeah. Especially the first time you do
me.
it, like, oh my gosh, this is working.
Oh, yeah. It just changed me. And I thought, I like this.
Yeah.
This is going to be cool.
Well, let me ask you this. You don't have any clovers. When's the last time you planted clover?
Dude, I haven't had. So there was a blend 2 years ago that had clover in it.
Okay.
That I did I
remember you doing that, yeah.
A section, and that all came up with clover in the spring.
The reason why I asked is because I just cut down 12 trees off the destination food plot. I'd done a lot of walking back and forth because I have OCD and I had to, whatever I couldn't pick up, but the tractor I had to pick up by hand and make it all nice.
I know you.
Still a ton of clover growing out there right now.
Really?
After all that. And that was 4 years?
This
4 years.
This is 4 years ago, yeah.
I planted all that clover and chicory, and there's still like a ton of clover out there. I thought it was just on the edges of the plot screen.
It's all mixed in.
Shady. It's all mixed in all through there. I'm like,
that's food, brother.
It's crazy.
They'll love it. They love it in spring.
Yeah.
Too. They love it in spring.
I mean, I don't even know what you do because that thing, even this year before I had all that Bermuda grass,
you sprayed it.
I sprayed and sprayed and sprayed like 2 different times, heavy. Still got clover. What's happening?
Yeah, it's something that I think with the clover too. If you spray in the summer for grass, that the clover is, if it's any kind of warm, it's kind of dormant.
Yeah,
and so it doesn't suck up the killer.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I got into that out here a few times.
Yeah,
but dude, I remember
what was it 50, 60 something.
Yeah,
I got a little bit of clover in my backyard right now, but I ended up just torching it all with it didn't really burn it. Also, I just held the torch on and burn it out. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same type of deal. If you sprayed it, it still looks fine until it gets up there about that 70-degree mark.
Yeah, and then it sucks it into the
glyphosate will take it out.
Yeah, to wipe it out. But no, I don't know. That was just I thought about that today, and I'm thinking, man, if somebody would have told me in the year 2000 on my
Yeah.
first food plot, dude, you need to give them some security around this.
Mhm.
I think, who knows? You know what I mean? And so that would be my advice to any guy out there that's listening and be like, dude, I've tried food plots and I just don't have any luck.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the first thing that pops into my head is, what kind of access do you got to your food plot? If you're blowing in there and your wind's wrong and they're seeing you leave, you're messing up. So that we had to learn that from the hard way. I know I did, you did.
Yeah.
And
I changed out my whole property because of that very thing.
That
I remember the conversation with my wife, like,
that's it.
That's it. I got blew out leaving the tree, and they were walking down my trail to go in there. And it's like, I'm done. I'm not hunting that food plot. What's going on?
Yeah. We're fixing to change everything.
Yeah. And I did.
Yeah, we did for sure.
Yeah.
But so that, you got to have food. I don't care if you're pouring out corn, you got to have food. If you have food and you have access and you have screening, dude, it's a killer combination.
Well, there's so many, I mean, we talked about, already you get safety out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You get edge out of it. You get manipulation because you can cut corridors or cut, gaps into where you want them to go.
Yes. And you can access. See, I mean, that's,
and then it helps, that's what I'm saying. Then it helps your access coming in and going. Like it's a pretty huge deal.
It really is.
When you really think about it. Yeah. I would say other than food, that's probably the most important thing.
I would think so.
And I didn't really mess with it until I redid my whole property, but it's like the way we set it up with the switchgrass and the everything like that. It's like, you can get in, get out. And this year having that segmentation on there. So I got multiple videos of just literally all the benefits that you could have to it.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, it's like, when you work at it and we put in the work now, like we talk about, it's like people want to know, man, how are you seeing deer all the time? What are you doing different? It's like, I literally have bulletproof access because of the screening to my food plot. I can watch it fill up. Mr. Big didn't come in.
Yeah.
I can get out and they never know you're there.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a winning combo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, I'll never tell anybody not to hunt if you're working 40 hours a week and you can only hunt on a Saturday and the wind's not quite right, go hunt because who knows?
Yeah.
But, for us, it's like we have quite a few opportunities to hunt.
Sure.
It's like we don't hunt. I hunt less now than I ever did.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be, I got to stand for about every wind, but I know some of them are a little more dangerous than the others, so I'm like, I'm not going to take a whole lot of risk early on. Like,
well, you don't have to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, back there, you kind of struggled during the season. You hadn't taken a deer. You could have.
Yeah.
That's the part we leave out.
Yeah.
You didn't take a deer, but you could have taken a deer if you wanted to. But it's like, all right, we got to sprinkle in some other places just so you're like, I'm going hunting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we dial our places in, we do all this work, and it's like, oh, nope, got a Southwest now. I can't go out there.
Yeah, no.
Or, it's like,
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is prime time. I need to be in there right now. Well, nope, got the wrong wind.
Yeah. Well, my wife's used to like, anytime I didn't have to work, it was like, I'm getting up at 5 or 4 and I'm getting out there and like every time I'm finding a stand and getting in it. And like, the last 2-3 years, like, you're not going? Nope. You're not going? No. Oh, do you want to go to the pumpkin patch? Or I said, you're not going hunting? Like, oh, sure, just not. Because like I said, I hunt less now than I ever have, just because it's,
hunting smarter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially on your own place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's different if you're hunting public and you got 2 days to go, just go.
Just go. And you know how to hunt it. Just go.
Yeah. I always treated Chaffee that way and Missouri that way.
Sure.
Like, man, if I'm entering this way and I think I'm coming here, I need this type of wind. If not, I got to circle back around.
Right.
But realistically speaking, you have no clue. Or,
no.
We sit on our properties all the time. We pretty much know. You get surprised every once in a while, and you oh my God, there's a deer right there. But usually, you kind of know how the deer use your property.
Sure.
It does change. I've been walking my place quite a bit. It's changed this year from last year. I mean, different set of bucks, different set of. I don't know if we all got a different set of does, but they are using it a little bit different.
See, and I think that's the fun thing about it.
Sure.
I mean, even my setup out here for Lexi over the years, it's been kind of the same, but it's never really the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I've never had a buck come from that drain. Well, he's coming that way every time now. It's like, all right, we got to kill this dude. We can kill him. You know? And it's like, and then the next year is like, oh, they're coming off the top like they always do.
Yeah.
And it's like, So I don't know, that part of fun because you don't
Yeah.
really know,
Yeah.
and that's some years you have the deer, some year you don't.
Mhm. That was me this year.
Yeah, it's just some years you have them, some you don't.
I had plenty of 3.5-year-old deer. That's nothing.
Yeah, and the big buck you had was ball busted up and
Yeah, the one I
gnarly.
would have normally shot if I had horns.
Yeah. And you have years like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do. I remember
I wasn't too. That didn't bother me. I immediately, flipped into, all right, it's time to start cutting down trees.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I hunted late though. I mean,
Yeah, no, you pushed.
yeah.
You definitely pushed. You had a couple of deer that if they'd have messed up, you'd have made it happen. But
Yeah. Well, we kept getting those 12-degree, just, I gotta go. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I gotta go. Who knows what's going to pop out there? I still got food.
yeah, because you had that big buck that Dad had.
Yeah.
He showed up a couple times.
Yeah.
And, man, he's right there on the cuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. So I was thinking about that today. I actually cut the switchgrass out there today, and I thought, you know what, dude, this has got to be one of my biggest game changers.
Yeah. No question.
Of all the land management.
There's so many benefits.
Yeah. Of all the land management I did, the screening, plot screen or switch, just it changes.
Let me ask you this. What did you see, because you've been doing it longer than I have, obviously. Did you see any benefit of drilling the plot screen in versus hand seeding it?
At this stage, no.
Yeah.
Early, yes.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a little more seed soil contact and success with it.
Right.
You don't waste as much seed.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But ease of use and setup and drill it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just a couple passes.
The reason why I asked is mine, that I can't remember what it looked like. I remember it did fairly decent on that northern end in my little horseshoe. I did that whole end down there. But what I drilled in this year where it didn't get shaded out, which I've fixed that problem.
Yeah, you got that problem fixed.
It was crazy thick and probably 9 feet high.
Yeah, no.
If it wasn't shaded in or I didn't cut a notch in, the deer did not walk through it. Now I did see, it was kind of cool actually. I wish I had a camera going, but there was another buck in the woods. I guess he didn't know what it was. But anyway, I'm sitting there watching a bachelor group out there. There's 4 dinkers out there, and one of them's a little 6, and he is on the east side. And all of a sudden, he just tail goes up and he takes off running, and he jumped. Well, what did we drill that? 12 feet?
12 feet wide.
12 feet wide, 9 feet tall. Pew, jumped right over the top of it and went into the woods. And 5 minutes later, he came back out like, is everybody still out here? Like, he was the only one that spooked. But he cleared that. I mean, with
y'all's not scared.
Yeah, one bounce. He didn't walk. He didn't go through it.
He went over it.
He went over it.
It's amazing. Deer amazing, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I tell you, the client down the road here is where we really need to do that this year. We need to drill it in, get some barbed wire fence.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a no brainer.
Yeah, it fixed that place for sure.
And that's there's a problem there.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about it the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's really good early,
Mm-hmm.
and then it. So we need
Gets a ton of pressure after that.
Yes, so we need to get some more security in there, and no better way than a screening.
I'm telling you, do a 12-foot right against that curve of that fence.
Mm-hmm.
Think they can shoot out of it?
Well, we actually talked about going ahead and putting the platform up.
Okay.
And getting it up 10 feet.
Just enough elevation to shoot over probably go out there. Well, what can we do? Probably just a stick, huh?
Yeah.
Like how high do we need this thing to be able to shoot into that food plot?
Yeah.
Get yourself a...
Well, even where it sits, I don't know that you still couldn't see.
That's why I'm wondering, like, I wonder if you could still just see over.
Because, right now you can walk right up in the back and never be seen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, it's like I wouldn't really want to raise it if you didn't have to, because now you're exposing yourself unless you screen it off.
Yeah, that's exactly what that needs. Matter of fact, we need to get together and plan on doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I may even go to the other spot, Dad's spot down there.
Yeah.
And that one side where it's open to the field, just running it down that one side so that you got this mega thicket, and then it would just be.
Let me ask you this: up there, the way it's all open right there, we're to the left of the one tree.
Mm-hmm.
What if you plot screen that whole thing and it's made like a big thicket in there?
You could.
That ain't expensive.
No, you could.
Something worth trying. Yeah.
The only thing there is really rocky, so I don't know that we could drill it.
Yeah,
we could probably seed it though.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't want to tear your drill up in there, but. I was just, dude. So, I'm trying to decide out here what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, every year I want to change
Do
something.
something.
I
Yeah.
want something
A
different.
little tweak.
Yeah. Every year I was like, okay, I'm going to. So I told you on the segmentation, I'm only going to do one
Right.
instead of two.
Yeah.
So I did two
It's
last year.
long and narrow, so I think that'd be probably a good
Yeah.
choice. Yeah.
And there was a little bit of area in my plot that I couldn't see from the stand
I had
that really
same
bothers me.
problem. I had a camera and I was watching the camera. I can't see that deer. I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. See,
but I also really didn't really plan out the 360 blind when I put that in there. So I was like, that was kind of like an afterthought.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, there was one point there I had like a back hip of a deer walk through, and that's all I seen. And you know, is it the big one? And, you know, you just don't know. And so it's like, okay, I'm not going to cut off my vision.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I added this too. So you know where I was originally going to put my pond down below that I cleared.
Yeah.
I've let it grow up now. So it's just junk.
Yeah.
Growed up, and it's probably 6-8 feet probably. I went right into the center of it with 4 swaths with the brush hog.
Okay.
I'm going to plant that, leave all that garbage all around it. We'll plant that, and I can see it.
Yeah.
From
the trail coming in
from the stand. Yeah. It comes in the very back of it.
Yeah.
So the deer can actually cross.
Could be like a little staging area before they get to the bigger plot.
Exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I made that just to be a thicket.
Yeah.
And it'll eventually be like the upper side is over time. But I mean, I thought, you know what? I'm going to plant in the middle, and then you know how it lays. So it'll be a little swath in the middle. The pond is right here. And then here's the rest of my plot.
Yeah.
So I was like, if that made a deer lay there or pulled the deer across and it came up that way, I think that would.
Well, I said it could be like a little, if they came down the highline wire, like I'm going to go down here and until it gets a little bit darker and chill out and munch on this.
Well, before I cleared that, because, you know, that's where I was going to put my original pond. And then I realized it ain't big enough.
Yeah.
I want a bigger pond than that. Before I cleared it, it's all woods back there.
Right.
And time after time, dude, we would be sitting in that stand and deer would pop out of those woods.
Really?
Right there. Right on the edge
coming
of the
from
food
down here somewhere, I guess.
Yes, coming from down, coming up.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, all right. If I made that a big thicket down there, they may actually hang out there, you know, and pop out there. And it's coming to that. It's growing into that.
Yeah.
But now I was like, I'm adding more food.
Yeah.
You know, us was
like
like
a little bit more.
Just put some more food in here.
Yeah, dude. If I owned a dozer, I don't tell what'd be going on my place right now. Like I got all kinds of ideas going around my head. But
yeah.
I think my next big one's going to be that dirt berm. I think I want to make sure I can. Yeah, you know, if I get it, if I need
That's a cool idea, by the way.
Yeah.
I've never even thought of something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if you put a berm up there and you totally
it's just frosted with switchgrass.
Yeah.
And it's a giant wall they can't see and they can't get in unless they decide they want to climb that mountain. Then in the fall time, throw your metal targets up there and shoot your pistols and everything else out your gun in. You go down the back of the food plot. Now there's no trees and shoot 150 yards up there if you wanted to. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what did we shoot that at? Was it 100-something yards
from the big food plot? I mean, from the
mansion.
Mansion is 128
to the back.
Yeah, so if you add that other section right there, it's got to be another 15, 20.
So from one stand to the next stand is probably
about 128. But if you go all the way to that dirt berm, I bet you could probably add another 20 yards.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. That's going to be cool, man.
Yeah.
So and then if you throw corn down, like we're talking about, who knows?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Excited about my new, man, I kind of want to get it done before it gets too hot too, like that little corridor project. Because I was going to go ahead and start doing it, but I was kind of chainsawed out there for a minute. So I'm thinking,
you tired of cutting?
Man, I tell you what, there's a couple things I hate to do. One is laundry. 2 is sharpen a dang chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
I hate sharpening a chainsaw. And I sharpened it so many times, cutting those big old logs.
Yeah, yeah.
I need a bigger chainsaw, but I really don't plan on doing this a whole lot. I don't plan on taking on this type of logging.
You don't want to bring that back?
But I tell you, I did find a really cool, instead of the old hand file. I
seen the video. Yeah.
I was like, hey, what is that? And he's like, man, it's a sharpener. It's kind of got a guide on it and it cleans off your rakers too. I'm like, yeah, give me that. And this was like just about every 2 tanks of gas. I just real quick, I mark my teeth, run through there, and like it's legit. I don't remember the name of it, but
I've seen it.
It's legit. You got to have your pitch of your blade and there's something else in there that you got to know. But I just had to have a picture of my chain box when I went over there because what I was in there for now. It was something, but anyway, yeah, it's legit. It's way better than
Then the old
the old file, like, oh my God, you got to go this whole way and then flip this over and go this whole way. And
Yeah.
like, never have a good spot to sit down and do it because you're always in the woods and like,
Yep.
it's just a big pain in the butt. So,
See, I had to sharpen mine the other day, and I went and bought another chain
yeah.
and got it out, and it was 2 inches too short. And I was like, oh, you got kidding me. So then I was like, I really had to sharpen it up because I had to finish cutting that big stump out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know exactly what you're
That's
talking
how I
about.
started off with. My other one had been filed on quite a bit. I'm like, this is going to be a big project. I'm just going to go buy a new chain because I know it's going to be nice and sharp and ready to go.
Mhm.
And it's probably get me through this job. Well, it didn't. Those trees, every time I walked up to one, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know how big this thing is.
Huge.
Way bigger than I thought. So, starting to throw these little bitty chips out and starting to get smoke out the backside. I was like,
You know
time to
it's
stop
time.
and sharpen the chain again. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
but yeah, that project was, I don't know. I probably started about noon on Friday, got rained out on Saturday, got started late on Sunday because it was raining off and on. Probably got started at 2, only worked a couple hours. So I bet I got 6, 7, 8. And then Monday I spent another 6. So 12, probably 15, 16 hours solid.
And cutting trees
Cutting
and
trees and hauling them, working and dragging. And
but now the whole west side
yeah,
has 2 corridor pockets. You're going to add one probably, right? Or is it just 1 corridor right now?
the west side only has 1. So I got one
So
on the
you're
west,
gonna
one on
add-
the east,
you're
on the
gonna
north
add one-
end. So I think I'm going to go
Add
ahead.
one by the stand. That makes sense, dude. That makes sense.
It did to me as I was stacking, because I was stacking in there thick and pushing it all down. Like,
Yeah.
man, I think I'm going to leave about a 5-foot section. Right?
I almost texted you and said, dude, you know what you need? Honeysuckle. If you planted that all along all
Yeah,
that
that's cool.
debris,
Yeah.
it'll just take
Yeah.
that stuff over. I got a bunch out of here that's wild, but
Yeah.
you can buy it.
Yeah.
And you could just, and it would get plenty of sun. And then, dude,
Yeah.
what it would do, it would creep up all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then they could graze on that too. So,
Yeah, they do like that honeysuckle.
They
I've
like it.
killed a deer over a honeysuckle patch before.
oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, it's just
that's
something else to
interesting.
add to your
Well,
pot.
trust me, I mean,
to
it's
plate
not,
there, buddy.
it's coming. I mean, every year my place, at some point, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, no, it will. It
Yeah.
will. No, I believe that. We're going to keep tweaking it.
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing right now, after that study we talked about a couple podcasts ago, is that I need to get rid of some
Get it?
trees, not on the food plot, like trees in the
Mhm,
woods, and get some
mhm.
browse there.
Yeah, yeah.
I struggle with it because I'm just surrounded by woods. I'm like, will it make a difference? I don't really know, but it could.
Yeah. Well, I know just for instance, down there where we hunt,
Yeah.
that one thicket, dude.
Yeah.
Once I figured out that's where the deer were.
Did they log it or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
clear cut about 80 acres.
Hmm.
And the only trees standing are the ones that were in the creeks.
Oh, gotcha.
And so everything else was clear cut. This has been 10 plus years ago. And now it is a jungle.
Yeah.
Well, after I killed my deer open in the morning down there, I knew I wasn't going to kill another deer unless it was a Mugandi. And that's just, I've done that one time since
Yeah.
I've been hunting down there.
Yeah.
So I just dove in the middle of that thicket. It's
Uh-huh.
like, I'm going in.
Yeah.
It's, dude, I busted briars and just can't
Yeah.
hardly crawl through there. You know how to climber? And it was like $4 and 2 cents.
Mhm.
I was like, they're in here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't see, but
Yeah.
you get up in a pine 30 feet.
Yeah.
I ain't done that in a long time either, brother.
Yeah.
And you get down where you can see in it, dude, and they were everywhere.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, this is where all the deer are.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a thicket
Yeah.
and regrowth.
Yeah.
That's
they say
why
like
the-
the first year is not much, but like the next 4 years after that,
Yes.
it's like before it gets too thick and they can't use it, like
Yes.
it's a mecca.
Yeah. And
That's
see,
some guys that hunt in Scott County. They was like, they come in here and clear cut a whole bunch of my best spots. I'm like, they're going to get better.
Yeah.
Just give it a year or two
thicken up.
and see how nice they are.
Yeah.
And that'll be your secret weapon.
And they planted pines back in this.
Okay.
So, but dude, anywhere there's a draw, they can't plant pines.
Yeah.
And so,
It's
you
perfect.
in the middle of, dude,
Yeah.
you got these massive draws. You can't see. But once you get up, you can see down these draws. And that's where I was, man. And so I've already been like, all right, Dad's going to have a heck of a spot because I'm going to go in there. I'm going to put him a lean up so he'll quit climbing. I
Yeah,
can hardly get
yeah.
him to quit climbing.
Might be time.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Dad, I'm going to put you in here, and it's right down from camp, and
Yeah.
he'll probably kill deer, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
So
Was there a water hole on the right hand side of that?
let's see.
I remember driving down through there a couple of years ago. It seemed like there was a big thicket. Maybe it fell off, and then there was like a little
Well,
water.
it's a big drainage that goes from high ground all the way to the road down at the bottom.
Okay.
That's in the middle of it. And
Yeah.
then you got these big draws coming into it,
Yeah.
kind of just scattered around. And that's all a thicket.
Yeah.
That whole thing's a thicket. And dude, it was just shocking.
Yeah.
How many deer were in there?
Yeah.
And I was like, God.
I've never had the opportunity to hunt one that's been cut like that, but I've watched plenty of videos and read enough about it to
Yeah.
where.
Let's see. So with that, just backing up what you said about adding more
Yeah.
thicket and browse
Yeah.
on your place.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
awesome. And you know, I'm learning that as we go here because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, what else can I do to my property to improve it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went in and made pockets.
Yeah.
You know, we did that one year. I went around and made 5 pockets and just called them bedding pockets.
Yeah.
Dropped timber, hinge cut
Mhm.
around just to give, you know, a deer can't stand at the top of the ridge and see all the way to the bottom
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
that was the idea.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't really know, but I feel like I've had deer get up from one of those pockets and come
Sure.
to my food plot.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they didn't do that before.
Mhm.
It's because I dropped that timber in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, for your place, to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
you know how dark it is. There's nothing living like the other side of the switchgrass bedding going
Yep.
south before my actual bedding I cut
Yep.
out. It's like desolate and like, well, on the west side of that food plot, I mean, I could go in there and you know, strategically cut them down. There's really no good timber in there. And I've always, my mind's changed. Like, man, I'm not going to take my land and just start chopping up
Yeah.
trees on. Like, that's stupid. I
Yeah.
like having the trees. I mean, what am I ever going to use this thing for other than hunting?
well, that's the question, right?
Nothing.
I mean, what other recreation other than you use the trails?
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
We walk, we bike, we ride side by side,
Yep.
and we hunt. That's it.
That's it. So why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
Especially if I come up with end up purchasing a sawmill and I can actually use this wood for
Oh, yeah.
something.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
all them cedars and all that stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes sense. I'm kind of on board, but I would like to be able to process the wood instead of just pushing it up in piles and sitting it raw because I wasted a lot of timber when I did the project. I mean,
Oh yeah.
a lot of wood just got burned up,
Mhm.
just pushed up in piles.
Yep. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that for sure. But
Yeah.
I think it would probably just add to your place.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be a long project. I mean, it's going to take multiple seasons to get all the cutting done, but I think I'll probably get out my old plexiglass and like I'm going to start in this way right here. I'm going to start, selective cutting because even some of the oaks, like, I've never cut down an oak on my place. That's food. But I mean, we saw this year, I got, 7,000 acres behind me that's full of oak. So it's like,
Yeah.
if I cut down some oaks on my place, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're going to find the acorns not on my place typically anyway.
Well, and that's what I was just fixing to say. I mean, we've learned it about your place, my place too, for that
Yeah.
matter, is it's a tall order to get a buck to lay on your place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if we had 200 or 300 acres,
Yeah.
you still got a tall order.
Yep.
Just because of, your home's proximity and
Yeah.
all of that, I think
Yeah.
plays into it. So my mind is food's here. Let's get them cover to get there. You know what I mean?
Cover, and they're going to be on your place probably in daylight and maybe make it to the food plot
Filter
earlier, is my
through,
thought.
more safe,
Yeah.
more food
Yeah.
to the main food source.
Yeah.
And, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Well, I mean, I had a dream when we first did that, like, oh man, these bucks are going to be bedding on for sure. They're going to be bedding, but like they just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, that little bit they do.
I'm sure you get some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Some of the younger deer.
And I do too.
I don't think I have a 5.5-year-old going to be bedding up on me anytime soon.
Yeah. And I've had some of that.
Yeah.
When they're here.
Yeah.
But they don't live here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I got all the girls, I got all the food, I got all the good
Mm-hmm.
time. I got the cover, I got the switchgrass, I got everything. And it's like, I'll have a buck hang out.
Yeah.
He may be there for
Regular. Yeah.
Yeah, he may be there for
Yeah.
a while, but
Right.
that's not where he lives.
Yeah. That's,
He's going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned about my place. But I think there's no reason your place wouldn't be the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
It was a
thicker-
little bit of a pipe dream to think that because when I
We
first
could
started,
hold
it's like,
them,
we're
like-
gonna, these bucks are going to be here, but realistically, I got people riding horses
Yeah.
to the south of me. My house is over here. We got whatever's going on. A dog's going to bark, or the garage door's going up and down, or whatever. So I mean, you ain't gonna get not a deer that we want to kill. Probably not going to be bedding that close to civilization. Period.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't really think about that too much anymore. But like I said, if you have, how count the numbers now, but like anyway, 30%,
Mhm, yeah.
30% deduction in treetops give you 500% more browse.
More browse. Yeah.
And so if they get up on their feet, wherever they're at, quarter mile away, and like,
Yeah.
man, there's a lot of browse, and then they happen to pop out in the food plot 30 minutes for, man, that was pretty good, but I
Yeah.
want some green.
Yeah.
Now we're in the chips. So.
Yeah. Well, see, we talked about the little thing I did out here. I made a little pocket in there, and then I hinge cut all around it,
Mhm.
and I want to see. This is an experiment.
Yeah.
I want to see what that turns into.
Sure. Yeah.
If a deer uses it, if a buck is in there or whatever, and then I may drop the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Leave maybe the tree line.
Yeah. Leave
And
your 15, 20 foot.
Everything inside, just make it into a hinge cut, just
Yeah.
jungle. Make some trails
Well, it
through
could be deadly with, especially with the combination of the clover too. You know,
Yeah.
You reestablish your doe herd.
Yeah.
You got doe bedding. It's right there.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I've finally, oh, by the way, I got clover popping out there.
Nice.
I don't know that it's what I frost seeded because there was a blend 2
yeah, see,
years
that's what I
prior.
said. Mine's popping right now.
Yeah,
It's
I got some
left
clover.
over from ever, so
I-
who knows?
It's all up top. That's where that clover is. So I'm pretty sure it's from 2 years ago when
I
I
bet it is.
threw out
yeah.
a mix.
Yeah.
But I haven't noticed the lower end all,
Mm-hmm.
I hope it comes. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
we'll see, I guess.
You
But
should be a pro with that by now.
well, dude, you talking about something that's labor intensive.
Yeah.
If you really get into clover,
Yeah.
it's finicky, man. But
Yeah.
when you get it right,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I was planning those big mixes, like what you
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not supposed to do, has everything in it. But the only thing that would live would be the clover when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I got to mow. I'm reading about it. I got to mow it. I got to keep it. I got to mow this stuff.
Yes.
Down. It's like, holds so much water in it. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
yeah. That if you get into clover, dude, it's, you got to maintain it
Yeah.
and you need to spray it and you got to,
Yeah.
But dude, when it's good, it's good. I mean,
Mhm.
we killed a bunch of bucks out of
Sure.
clover fields.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, the screening, man, I just want to get,
Screening.
I want to hit
Get
you
it.
that.
Get it.
Do it. If
Yeah.
you're a plotter, man,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a quarter acre.
You brought that up. Like I said, I get people sending me like, hey man, so-and-so here, this, and then they'll like, well, hop on Onyx and let me kind of see what you got or whatever. And it's like, it's tough to tell off a picture, but it's too open.
Yeah.
You just screen it.
Yeah.
And that's my first thing to go to. You want to change, screen it.
Yep. Yep.
So
That's
that's our advice. You want your plot to change, screen it.
screen it. And I don't care if you switch it and wait 2 or 3 years or if you plot screen
switch
it.
is cool. I mean, I like it. I like anytime you get to grow something and it actually starts to work. So I'm anxious with mine again right now because I've mowed it for the first time. Like, man, I wonder if it's going to come back like crazy.
It is.
Yeah, next year. But I still got, it's right there where the deer mansion is, and then that west side. I just cannot.
Well, what you're up against.
I got a
dude.
big spot there, and I got a big spot here. And
That was Brick Road or what, a Brick City
it's
through
like
there.
shale that's washed out. I
Yes.
drilled it last spring. It's like, oh, dude, check it out. Rows and rows of switch. But who knows this year it may be like, oh my God, look at all the switch growing.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting to see.
Well, I do know that it can burn up because I did that top side in front of the stand, which is my most arid, highest spot.
yeah.
And just like you said, dude, like year 1, I was probably 6 or 8 inches. Year 2, and this was year 2 this year. It's a little sparse, but we got really hot.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it smoked. I mean, I think it like killed the roots
Killed
and
everything.
smoked it
Yeah.
because it's like half as thick as it was the year before.
Yeah.
So-
I was thinking mine was more shade because I left that big white oak tree because it's just too nice of a giant screen
Yeah,
tree.
yeah.
Like I gotta leave that one.
Need one in there.
Yeah.
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 And
So
that would have been
that it shades me out a bunch right there in that little
Oh, sure,
section. 'Cause
sure.
I got the little teardrop section that grows and the
Yeah.
section past where the telephone pole I had removed. It's pretty thick. And then I got this spot that just won't grow.
Well, you
So
don't want to do anything. Yeah. Well, you
I
got
think,
to
I think I'm going to drill it again this year.
Oh, yeah,
and
just keep on going.
Keep on. See, maybe it'll work this time.
Well, it was spotty up top too, because like you said, it was shell, dude. It was shell.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, you literally
Yeah.
got that growing in shell right there.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's
The
tough.
top is not super thick, but my clumps are getting bigger and bigger. So eventually I think
Oh, it'll fill in.
it's going to fill in. I
Yep.
re-drilled that last year too. But I mean, at this point, I say it didn't work, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Because next year I'll be like, oh God, look at all this switchgrass popping.
coming in.
Because
Yep.
I was even going to re-drill some of my thinner spots, but I just don't think if I drill it and it comes up an inch tall and the other stuff 6 inches tall, I don't
It's going to have a chance.
I don't think it's ever going
Yeah,
to work.
because you can't mow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
Not that low, not over and over.
Yeah.
And over.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I think I just got to wait it out. My thin spots, you just got to wait it out and let them fill in.
And then big clumps just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we need to figure out exactly urea or whatever we're going to do, because I need to get
That's
on
what
that.
I read a couple years ago. I actually did mine 2 years ago. I put urea on it.
Well, say I want to do that whole acre and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I would.
Yeah, I'm going to just
It's
that whole
cheap.
thing.
It's cheap.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it hand spread?
Not for me, it ain't. I put it in my big hopper and drive the tractor.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
I may be making that call.
Come get that hopper and just drive.
Well, I got one out here, but I broke the one thing inside of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I don't have the extension deal. What's that called?
Oh, you just need a drive shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy one of those at
Yeah.
Best Buy.
Yeah. I just got it. You know,
Yeah.
there's the
Or
small,
just come grab mine or just grab the whole hopper. It doesn't matter what.
those are the smaller ones. You know, I've got the bigger one.
Oh, yeah.
So I lost the female or male part of it,
Okay.
whichever.
Yeah, they will fall off there for sure. Well, remember last year, we should have done a before and after picture of that when we were unloading from that last week part we did last year, and it fell off my stack of equipment. I was trying to get off the gooseneck, and it just caved it in.
Oh, yeah.
I took a hammer and all of that thing. It's like you can barely even tell it's got it in there. Like, look at that, I still got it.
Body man.
Yeah, I still got it.
All right, guys, that was it. We just reiterate, screen those plots if you got them. If you can do it, it's not that
And it's going to be
costly.
here before you know it. May's
Yes.
when you need to do it.
May's when you need to do it. Prep the ground if you've never done it. Kill everything off, and then either broadcast it, or we'll probably be drilling some of ours and
Yeah.
get it
I don't know
made.
what I'll plot screen this year, because I'm probably for the corn works. I won't be plot screening much, but
Oh, yeah. No kidding. Okay.
we shall see. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening.
That was it today, guys.
right.
Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.